Hi everyone, it's Kylie Patucci, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I just tried to go live. Hopefully this will be fine, but it said I didn't have enough internet connection, so I'm hoping this will all go okay and that our lovely comments will appear if there's people jumping in live. But if not, you'll be able to watch this class whenever you like, and it's based on the card that I made last week. I had a lot of requests about this one, particularly because it's inset as opposed to being popped down. A few people are like, how did you do that? It's actually a lot more simple than probably it appears to be. But I'm also very excited because this is from the Thoughtful Branches bundle, which is now live today. It's available to purchase. So if you live in Australia, you can actually purchase this bundle from me, which is very exciting. I've had a few of my lovely customers purchase it already this morning, and they're can't wait for it to arrive. So that's really nice. So this is actually the Thoughtful Branches bundle here. These are the thinlets. So you can get each individual item. So if you just want the thinlets or you just want the stamp set, you can get the individual items. So that's the thinlets, and this is the stamp set. Now it's shown at a smaller percentage. I always try and find the percentage and I can never find it, but it's a lot bigger in the flesh, as you can see. So let's jump in and try and make this card here. Now it is live, so we shall see how we go. Oh, we've got someone liking. Hi there. So let's start. I'm doing metric measurements because I live in Australia, so centimetres. Sorry, peeps who use inches and imperial, but that's how we roll here. Hi, Petra. It's nice to see you jump in. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. Let's see how we go here. There we go. And let's just show you some little tips here. Oh, I love all the hearts. They're so pretty. So firstly, you're going to start with just your regular, I like doing just basically the A4 cardstock in half. So I just cut it at 10.5 centimetres. Yeah, that's good that you flicked one. I think it is a first that you're actually here live, which is nice. So when it's a portrait one, I always like to have it opening this way, but everyone's different. And it's interesting how I really didn't like this style of card when I first started, but now I absolutely love it. So if I go landscape, so if I'm going this way, then I tend to do again opening up. So I change it, and that's how I kind of do it. Hey Nicole, thanks for jumping in. So one of the first things that you'll need to do with this card is you'll notice that it has the cherry cobbler layer. So this time I'm going to use crushed curry because that was one of the ideas that I had. So if you just want to take a screenshot of these measurements or write them down for later, but basically I've just done the layering on top of each other so that they're like this. So it's just 3 millimeters in between each. So 9.5, 9.2, 13.9, 13.6. Now to make sure that your tree is going to be, so you can see here that you're not seeing the cherry cobbler through the tree, you're just seeing the basic black background. So that means you need to cut through both of these layers. It can be a little bit tricky with these particular thinlets because they're probably not designed to go through 2 pieces of cardstock at once. So you might want to use a shim, which is just another layer of cardstock, as well as your normal platforms, and that just gives it a little bit more sort of squashes it a bit more together. That's my technical term, squashes it together. But it's really interesting that when I was doing this card, because the first time I sort of cut out the tree and then I just did a big sort of, you can just cut a hole here if you wanted to, but it's quite, it's just a little bit easier. You can glue these 2 layers together and then try and cut through. I didn't. I just left them separate so that then I could kind of cut the white layer, and then if there was a little bit that still needed to go through on the crushed curry, then I could go through again because it's quite good. It still had a little bit of an imprint, so then I just wound it through this second time. But it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. You just got to keep going quite a number of times to get through. Now, something that happened, and this is like a little bit of a sneak peek, something that happened when I was cutting through is that when I cut through, I noticed that all the white stayed. The tree came off, but all the sections stayed, and I'm like, oh, should I? No, I just couldn't help myself, so I did this as well. And I actually glued all the little white sections down so that it created this amazing tree. That's if you're really feeling patient and you want to go through and do each little bit individually. So that took a little bit of time, but I really love the effect of this. I think that it could just be so stunning. I think it's worth the painstaking effort of gluing all those pieces down. And it was good because the crushed curry background had the imprint, so I could actually see where to place everything, which made it a lot easier when putting everything back on. So that's an idea. But once you cut out those layers and they're all looking good, this is one that I've done earlier. So this is it here. Now what you're going to do is, now from this stage, we're wanting to mount this onto here. And it was quite funny, like trying to, how am I going to line this up and how I'm going to make sure that this is all lined up. So all I did was I just put my tree back in. And because of the way the Thinlit is, because it's so detailed, it kind of just sticks back in, as you can see there. And then I got my fine tip glue pen, which is very handy. Now you might have the crushed curry as well. And I checked and it does, this same technique works if you did 2 layers. So I just used my fine tip glue pen just to go through all the veins of this tree. Now keep an eye out if you're wanting more ideas for this bundle. There's so much on Pinterest, the artisan team as well, but also my team, the famous Crazy Crafters. We are doing a blog hop on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Australian Standard Time. So keep an eye out for that one. So Crazy Crafters, are you ready? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow night. So there we go. So there's that one. I keep my Crazy Crafters so busy they don't know what's going on half the time. It's like, what's going on? There's another blog hop. Oh my goodness. But they're doing amazing. Like, seriously, keeping up. Now, as you can see, I didn't put any glue on the outside. I just did it on the tree. So then I just pull that away. My tree's going to stay because our fine tip glue pen is amazing. And then, oh, hello, stabbed you. Sorry, tree. I'm a bit rough with you today. Okay, now he's happy. You might want a little bit more glue than what I used. And then all I'm going to do is then raise this up. And I used the regular dimensionals, but I just found that they weren't high enough for the effect that I was wanting. Plus I also wanted to do a little bit of dimension on my bird. So in order to do that, I needed to have this layer that little bit higher than the bird. I mean, you could do it in the same, but I wanted it to be quite dramatic and obvious that this is, you know, inset that tree. So you could do one of 2 things. You could use a 2-layer of the dimensionals, but I actually think that the strips would work well as well. So I'm going to give that a shot now, and then that way we know for sure how that's going to go. I've already pre-cut these strips. Hey, Jody. So let's put that on here. Oh my goodness, I love these strips. They're so awesome. But they are a little bit higher than your usual dimensionals, so just keep that in mind. Sometimes I just want it like subtle dimension. I don't want something too high. So I do interchange from my regular dimensionals to my strips, but I couldn't do without both of them. So thank you, Stampin' Up, for bringing these out. So there we go, nice and simple. And let's have a look and see. I'm amazed that I found some. I thought you'd use them all, Bruno. He came out and he's like, there's like 10 packs here. Oh, sorry. Didn't realise you'd ordered so many. So that's when we layer it, and you can just sort of eyeball, even just not even the tree. You should be able to line it up from the outside as well. And again, you could add another layer of different color if you wanted, but I think that actually works really well with the strips. What do you all think? I think that's actually a really nice height. We'll check by, just be careful not to do the strips too close because we don't want to see, we want to hide that. So where did oh, this will be fun. I cut a little crushed curry bird out, and I'm like, I'm so going to lose that little bird. And you know what? I've so lost that little bird. Oh no, here he is. Found it. Do you do that? Like layers, and it's like it was just here. I was just using it. How could it disappear? Oh, that's right. It's underneath mountains of other craft supplies. So I'm going to cut. So make sure with your dimensions that you use these little bits here. I hope you use your edges. Don't ever waste the edges because they're just as good. So I just cut out a little bit there and put it behind my crushed curry bird. Now, one thing to keep in mind that I should have done before I raised this is to stamp my sentiment. So I'll probably have to do a raised sentiment now. Or if I'm feeling, like I could pull it apart, then I'll have to pull off the top layer. But there you go. Isn't that super cute? And you could do so many varieties of colours with this and just have the pop of the bird and the layer underneath. But also keep in mind too, and it was funny watching Bruno last night with this, he cut out some birds and he's like, oh, so dumb. They've done the bird the wrong way. There's 2 birds, okay? And thinlets as well. So don't do the same thing and think that Stampin' Up! Have done a boo-boo, because they haven't. It's actually us. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions about how I've done this, I think hopefully I've kept it nice and simple. Yeah, I love the grass that the stamp set has too. Jodie, it's super cute. There's so many different ways you can use this stamp set. I think it's just really versatile and it's got a lot of ideas that you can use. I've seen amazing things. I used it for coral the other night. I used the tree section for the Global Design Project. I thought it looked like it could be coral, so I passed it for that. But, yeah, you'll see a lot more ideas coming up in the next probably week or so. And, yeah, make sure that you come and see the Crazy Crafters because they're just amazing. And if you live in Australia and you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like to order this bundle, let me know because this is only while stocks last. So you don't want to kick yourself if you didn't order it early. So keep an eye out. I do have, actually I should even have the coral one right here for you, Jodie. Should I go and look for it? This will be fun. It'll be the one time I can't find it. Yep, found it. Woohoo! I love it when I put it where I should. There's the coral. So I wanted to give it that beach sort of theme. And I thought that background really sort of made that. Hopefully it looks like coral to people. Otherwise it looks like some random side tree. But to me it looked like coral just because of the background and things like that. And that's that beautiful serene scenery paper. It's so beautiful, that paper. I just adore it. So yeah, it's like photography. It's really pretty. But then it still goes with our colours, which I just love that about Stampin' Up. Everything coordinates, even when they take photos. I mean, so good. Put a fish in it. Yeah, I should have actually, Jodie. That would definitely clinch it then. Should have put like a little fish in the background. It's an excellent suggestion. So hopefully you'll be following us tomorrow night. Oh, hi, Bruno. You must have heard me talking about you. I was using dimensionals, so of course you came up in the conversation. So yes, make sure you join us for the Crazy Crafters. Actually, in fact, I know when, I'll actually flip you around now because I'll be able to chat. Let's have a look. Here we go. Yeah, I know when one of us makes a good card, I usually have this joke with Bruno where I'm like, I hate you. It's such a good card. Even Louise Sharp will always say, oh, burn it. Put in the bin. So if you ever see us do that, it actually means we really like it. It's just, us trying to hold on to our youth. And do the opposite of what we're thinking. But Bruno made a card last night with this stamp set, and honestly, it is actually made two, and both of them are so beautiful. So you have to make sure that you come and see the Crazy Crafters Hop to see Bruno's cards. Really, really nice. He's got a totally different style, and I think he's used some of these stamp sets so well and simply too. So it's in a way that many people will be able to do. I'd love to do a sneak peek, Bruno, but your card is like entirely in another room. So I will leave it there, and people will just have to come and hop with us tomorrow night because I'm not running. Taylor Petra's like, come on. Nah, I'm keeping you in anticipation, all of you, because the dogs will run in and then we'll have one big family reunion in here. Oh, I like to give him a big head, Jodie, because I tell him off half the time, so sometimes I've got to be nice to him, hey. And he's good to me. He's a very good supporting husband, so I appreciate that. It's a very rare thing. My business would not be what it is if it wasn't without Bruno. He helps me late at night with all sorts of things. I'm like, pack it up, cut the paper. Anyway, I better head off. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you liked the class today. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks for all the hearts.